What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Social Media Mindset Podcast. And today is special because not only is this guy a great friend of mine, a mentor of mine, but it's not often that I get to have people on the show within days of a really monumental occasion. And so, guys, I have Glenn Bill with me. If you don't know Glenn, get out from under the rock that you've been living underneath, because Glenn is one of the top realtors in the country. He is an award-winning podcast host. He is a New York Times best-selling author. Like, he has all these titles. I have no titles, but he's got all of them. So I'm going to borrow his today. Glenn Bill, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, what's up, Kyle? Such an honor to be on your podcast. I want to thank you for everything that you've done for my business. I want to thank you for everything you've done for our podcast. And honestly, I want to thank you for letting me troll what you're teaching. You know, I try to like everything, and then you'll say something brilliant and I'll walk in and maybe I forget to quote who I heard it from. They're like, damn, Glenn, that's awesome. And I'm like, oh, no. That's from my guy, Kyle Draper.
I just like that it's good enough to be said. I don't ever need credit. But let's tell everybody, because you've been teaching something for over 10 years.
Yes.
That is literally, and you can share some of these stories, but you are helping realtors overcome the curve where we typically just go, man, if you're new in real estate, don't expect to make any money for over a year. If you're new in real estate, you're probably going to fail. You have a whole system now that keeps that from happening. And so talk to us about it. And then let's talk about the book that you just finished. And man, we're just going to dig into this and showcase this to people.
Sure. So the best example, and this has been happening for years. I've been fortunate to do what is called source of sales. Right. Attitude-based selling is now the updated version of source of sales.
I love it.
10-year program, but we have freshened it up and we've repackaged it. And now it finally has become out. It's going to be coming out and being released in book form.
Yes.
And so just the other day, I had an agent who had one listing, one sale in 12 months, said, hey, I reached out and I want to come work, sell real estate with you. I said, you can't come unless you do the source of sales training.
Oh,
right?
There it is. I can't wait to get my copy.
Source of sales. So he did it. He went through it. And his first 40 days after source of sales listed 5 homes, closed 3 buyers in this market. He's looking at 8 transactions within 40 days. So,
wow.
This training is not from some guy that's never sold. I've sold over 100 homes every year for the past 15 years. We did 17 million in production in the past quarter. What I teach works because I have smashed 33 years of real estate rejection and wrong path into a 10-hour course, which is now going to be a book. And I'm teaching you everything that is going to help people win. And it's proven. And if you go to Glenn Bill Training on YouTube, you'll see at least 50 to 60 of my students who have come out of different trainings say, man, this is some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. So there's nothing like it. Attitude-based selling is a new frontier in real estate how-to training. And a big part of that, which I believe you're going to be a part of, is we're going to help people understand how to create celebrity, because we know this. Americans have no idea how attracted they are to celebrity.
Right.
And it's not newspaper, television, personal events, speaking. It's this new thing, and it's not so new, but it hasn't been being done right until content compounding and Kyle Draper's hit the market.
Oh gosh.
That's what we're teaching people how to do. And boy, is it winning. And when I always love to ask our real estate agents, how many buyers and sellers are calling you, asking you to do business?
Yeah.
And the answer is not enough.
Right.
And if you want people to start contacting you to do business, then you're going to need to understand what you're teaching, right? Yeah. Marketing is not about getting my name out there anymore. Marketing is about getting your name in here more.
Yes.
And this is what you're teaching people.
So
and this
good.
is what's happening.
Well, and so GB, before we jump into the celebrity aspect, which is a part of one of your 5, I'm going to say the word pillar. That's not what you call them.
That actually it is. It's exactly what I call it.
Okay, good. So
right.
you've broken this source of sales, attitude-based selling into 5 unique pillars.
Yes.
And so before we get into the 5th one, which is really where my expertise lends just a tiny little help into what you've already done, walk us through just broadly over the first 4 pillars.
Good. And then what I'd like to do is have you maybe say, Glenn, here's the social media play on each pillar.
Yeah, right? Sure.
And so pillar number 1 is, as you know, look at nothing can happen. My training is all about becoming more attractive and contagious to the consumer. How do you become more attractive and more contagious? How do you become irresistible to somebody that needs to list their home or buy their home?
Yeah.
That's what this is about. Well, you cannot become irresistible, attractive, and contagious to the consumer unless you, first of all, become irresistible, attractive, and contagious to yourself. So mastery skill number 1 is self-mastery. Like, how do we master ourselves? What is our source of sales? What really, for our experienced agents, what is your source of business? Is it by owners? Is it expired? Is it a mailing list? Is it open house? Is it social media? But to find and to define your source. And it has to do with who are you studying? Who are you following? Who are your mentors? And that whole, it's an hour and 50 minutes when I do it live, but it's an hour and 50 minutes of personal development, getting us grounded, getting us focused, and getting us to understand who we are and what we're about. Because if you don't understand who you are and what you're about, you can never communicate who you are and what you're about. And people cannot be attracted to you because you're confusing. And so so that's mastery number 1.
So let me ask this though real fast. How when you're trying to get people to kind of pick, do you feel like your source of sell, like you said, is the buyer, is the seller, is the first time home buyer, or using open houses or whatever? How do you keep people from letting fear of missing out set in and going, well, I don't want to pigeonhole myself as one thing, and they just want to be the broad stroke that covers everything? Like, how do you kind of help them overcome that limited amount of their ability to see what they're really doing?
So 33 years in the business teaches you this. And I've hired hundreds of real estate agents. I've trained thousands of real estate agents.
Yeah.
And you know what? Nobody does it the same.
Right.
And you know what? Top producers do it all different.
Yeah.
And I've sat across the table from top producers and go, how'd that work? So to be honest with you, what we try to do is tap into the source of who people are, how they want to structure their business. Because I know this, when I set a goal for someone else, it's never as impactful as when they set a goal for themselves.
Yeah, it's good.
And so if somebody wants to do a shotgun approach and scatter different ways, then you know what I do? I encourage them.
Okay.
Because what you're going to find out is some people are better at the buy owner. Some people are better at the first time home buyer seminar. Some people are better at expires. And then until you try everything, you really don't know.
Yeah.
And so I understand Rich is in the niches specific to be terrific. But for personalities like mine to put me in a coffin and put the nail away and make me do one thing, I'd kill myself and I wouldn't be in this business.
Yeah.
So what we encourage them to do is we build them up as people, and we have them try some things. And if they need to try a lot of different stuff, then they do. So I don't try to mandate or manage. There's plenty of time to prospect or well, that gets into mastery number 2, but there's plenty of time to try plenty of things in real estate, right?
Sure.
And if you get into my history, you'll see that I coached football. I went to college. I had a job, and I was the top sales professional in a 75-man company. Why? secret to market dominance. It took me a lot less time to shake a customer's hand when I met him and get him to a closing table than any agent in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So I can get more things done. And this is what people do with Source of Sales when they learn it. I teach people how to get more done with sales in a 3-hour time slot that takes most real estate agents 30 hours. And part of that is engaging on social media, which is what you're teaching.
Yeah.
Part of creating the secret to market dominance, part of reaching out to more people, cutting the time frame from handshake to closing table. Guys, I mean, it's what Kyle's teaching. So
mastery of self is number one.
Correct.
What's number two?
Well, the second thing, which we all know, right? And that has to, our session one has a lot to do with the attitude-based selling, right? Getting your attitude right. But the second most important thing is prospecting mastery, right?
Okay.
So we're not prospecting, we're not doing business. If you're not closing, I teach people how to close 52 homes a year, period. Why? I was broke. And I said, if I get paid every week in real estate, no matter how small the check is, I'm going to be doing pretty good. 52 paychecks a year, that's good. And so I always tell our students, if you don't have 4 pendings and people say, what do you do for a living? You should say, I prospect to find buyers and sellers to help them with the American dream. See, we don't sell real estate if you're not doing 52 deals. You're building a business.
Yeah.
And so, I sell real estate. No, you don't. You're only closing 12 homes a year. You ain't selling real estate. You're taking orders. Like that, like selling real estate and owning a business is different. Like people that work in the post office and they're like, stamps just made a sale, right?
Yeah.
They're not selling stamps. The people are already coming to them anyway. So prospecting, I get into why do you love to prospect, why you don't prospect. I get into what's called the CACC formula: contacts, appointments, contracts, and closing. And we turn the real estate business into a contact formula. Oh, guess what? You know what increases your contacts? Social media.
Hey.
And you can do it like in no time. So we have the CACC formula. We also talk about negotiation. When you're prospecting is a one-on-one negotiation with a buyer or a seller. You need to know how to do that. And then we talk about the different activities that you can do in order to make money. Of course, we hit buy owners. Of course, we hit expireds. We give scripts, we give dialogues, we give questions. Quality of your business is determined on the quality of questions you ask yourself about your business.
That's good.
Posted a year ago.
That is good.
And so that's what prospecting is all. That's what prospecting mastery. Here's what I know. When you get out of my prospecting mastery class, you're going to be lethal. And sellers, buy owners, and expires, they don't have a chance. And we teach people how to list it at the right price, at the highest commission in the marketplace. And again, this is a 33-year journey that I've been on, and I'm sharing all the secrets, all the tips to smash all that time into one thing. So prospecting mastery is your second pillar.
And I can't wait for that to read that part, because I suck at prospecting personally. So like I'm good at one piece, which is a really important piece, social media. But I'm excited for that piece, because I'm willing to bet, Glenn, that even though this is designed for a realtor, so much of what you teach through attitude-based selling is going to be implementable to any industry across the country and around the world, right?
Right. So we've really wrestled with, do we just make it a general sales book? But, my passion is real estate agents. Pillar 1, pillar 2, and pillar 5 completely goes across the board. Pillar 3 and 4, which we're going to get into, is how to own a seller and how to own a buyer. That's not necessarily across the board, because it's very real estate specific. And they even said, Glenn, let's do 1, 2, and 5 in a book, and then we'll do 2 and 4 in a book. I said, hell no, let's just throw it all together and we'll figure it out.
Well, you give us an overview of mastery number 3. And I bet while you're talking, I bet it's still applicable to, I bet there's still pieces of it that I can do that. And I need to be better at that. And I need to do, so
there's no question. Right. So question 3 is seller mastery.
Okay.
right? How to engage a seller. And you think about, right, in the liquor business and the retail business, whatever, there are people who are sellers that you need to impress. And so, but just for the real estate agents, who are out there listening, is we really go through engagements, the art of questioning, what are engagement producing questions, why ask engagement questions. So it's really a questioning training, right? Like we teach people, look, at selling is not telling, it's creating options and alternatives. And so when you're in front of a seller prospect, the last thing you need to do are tell them things. The only thing you should be doing is becoming what I call a question machine. And so basically what we do is we talk about how to question them, how to set the table with a seller, the 10 best questions to ask sellers. Then we talk about the attitudes and perceptions of the seller. Like a lot of agents don't understand. People have an attitude and a perception about real estate agents. We talk about the importance of a net sheet, which everybody should know how to do a net sheet. But look, sellers want two things. When am I closing and how much am I getting?
Yeah.
They want significance and they want certainty. And the net proceeds sheet is what gives them both. And it's amazing how many real estate agents that I've coached, trained, hired, fired, whatever. Did you do a net sheet? Never did. Like you're giving nobody certainty, with that. And then we go through the objection handling process. We go through 21 ways to beat the commission objection, which is like that's in value mastery. So you'll see people on our YouTube video going, Glenn saved me $42,000 in commissions because he taught me how to negotiate fees. So we talk a lot about seller objections and how to handle those in that hour and 50 minutes. So that's what we call the seller mastery course. And
so I would assume that the 21 ways you're teaching to fight through the people that want to say no, the 10 questions you're giving them to talk to the seller, all of that can become video content on social media.
Amen. Yeah. Right? Well, yeah, there's no doubt about it. Right. And so as we're pitching this and as we're launching the book, you're going to be seeing that. And we already have videos that are pre-made that talk about that. Exactly.
So GB, tell me what's one question that most realtors don't ask enough when they're in front of a seller?
Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what I'd really love to know, or what are the 3 most important decisions or the 3 most important considerations you're going to make when selecting your agent?
It's good.
Had I done that yesterday, I probably would have had a listing that I lost out on this morning. See, here's the thing about me. Most people won't admit that they lost a listing, but you know what? I was thrown into a situation. I've been busy writing and speaking and doing everything. And man, I wasn't GB from 4 years ago when I was just like mowing them down. But had I asked that one question, and I thought about this last night, and that's a great question that you asked, they would have told me 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Guys, that's your listing presentation. That's your listing presentation, right? And I wish I had done it. I think they already knew who they were using. They were coming in because I was the area expert and they wanted to get my number. They asked me to cut my fee. I said no. They had purchased this home from a different realtor, their new home. So I know they got them up front. These were very sophisticated sellers with a paid off home who had money.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I have a feeling I may end up getting it back. I've texted with the seller. They still haven't signed a listing 4 times this morning because the first thing I did was went up and I previewed all their competition. I said, hey, just in the event the other agent you chose did not physically inspect the other properties you're going to be competing with, I've actually been through them all. Here's photos. Here's my comments. I think you guys are going to be at the right price. I wish you luck. And I hope you sell it. By the way, will you be open on Sunday on Halloween like we had talked about? Text back. Well, they want to do the open house Saturday, like when nobody knows there's open houses because the other agent doesn't want to work on Sunday.
This conversation is invaluable.
Thank you.
Because and you know this, I'm not teaching you anything, but if we're incapable of admitting when we've missed the mark so that we can then go back and study and research and identify where we messed up, how do we ever get better? Nobody wins 100% of the time.
I got an old saying: if you ain't losing, you ain't doing enough deals, baby.
Come on.
So it's like, I love it. One of my favorite keynotes that I do is 10 reasons I hope the market gets worse.
Oh,
I can't wait for real estate rates to go to 5%. I cannot wait for lenders to fall off, agents to fall off, rates go up, price reductions come. I gained, my business doubled every time I've been around 33 years. I've been through 2 downturns. Wow. My business doubled every time it downturns. So if you're a real estate agent and you're not using what Kyle's teaching you, those people who are known, who are celebrities, who are well-trained, trust me, the market's going to turn. Yep. And all the business is going to be yours. And so important. So I can't wait. I hope the market goes to hell, and you and me together are going to teach them all. But yeah, if you ain't losing, you ain't doing.
Dude, I love that. And so before we're getting so close to the celebrity piece of this mastery, but we've got one mastery left, the 4th mastery. We just talked about the seller. So now this is the buyer mastery.
Right. So buyer mastery, we get into setting the table with the buyers, right? Starting the relationship with the buyers and helping them understand the 5 greatest questions you can ask a buyer. We do the 21 I have 21 ways to build our value for the buyer. Hey, here's 21 things I do for you. When I ask agents, hey, tell me, why does the buyer need you? They come up with about 2. Yeah. I got 21 to help people. Then we do this thing called selling homes in 10 showings or less. Many times in my career, I don't really work with buyers anymore, but I had a run where I sold 23 buyers homes, showing them, sold them. First time or second time out, showing them less than 10 homes. Now, in today's market, I understand that's kind of natural because there's nothing around. Right. But there is the skill to it. And when we talk about how to increase your business in less amount of time, like I always love the question, is it possible to double your income? Is it possible to double your income in the same amount of time that you worked last year? And the answer is certainly yes, by becoming more skilled and by leveraging social media, quite honestly. But yeah, how to sell a home in 10 showings or less. I mean, unbelievable stuff. How to motivate your buyer, how to create urgency in your buyer. And then the most important thing, Kyle, I'm ready. 21 ways to build loyalty with a buyer, because we all know that those buyers go out and they go to a party and they talk to somebody or hit a builder or hit a buy owner. So this whole loyalty piece, right? It's how do I build loyalty with buyers? And these are the things that we're teaching. And then we get into some closing the sale, the old Tom Hopkins, how to close a sale. What does it mean to close a sale? Why do people let themselves be closed? And by the time you're done with seller mastery and buyer mastery, you will no longer be a pushover. You will be respected. People will respect your time. You will be working with people that you like. And you know what? You're going to be closing the gap on the time per client that you are dealing with. So that's my passion. I want to see agents live wonderful lives. I want to see them more times with their family. And that's what I'm teaching to everybody.
Well, and the beauty, like what I see in this program from the outside looking in, right? I'm not a realtor. And so what I see is, as you're doing each of the steps of mastery, you are creating so much confidence in the individual.
Yes.
And that is what I see a lack of in the realtors that are bad on social media. They don't have any confidence in themselves. They don't feel like anyone values what they say. They haven't been doing it long enough to be the authority of it. And so I can just see every realtor that goes through this training program, they're going to also naturally just become rock stars of social media, because you're instilling them with just so much content and knowledge, and it's unbelievable.
Do you know what the very first step of attitude-based selling is?
What is it?
Your source of confidence. So attitude-based selling, what I help people, you said it. You got number one right now.
That's it.
Is we train people, right, how to become more confident. Because look it, people want to do business with a somebody, not a nobody.
Yeah. It's good. That's so good.
If you think you're a nobody, so are they.
So true. And so we've got mastery of self. We've got mastery of prospecting. We got mastery of selling working with the seller, mastery working with the buyer. And then now the last mastery is what?
Value mastery.
Man, I love that word.
So
I love it.
When I speak and I go to agents, tell me the definition of value. Oh, not good. Not good. Like nobody knows the definition. Why should I pay you more in commission? Well, I bring more value. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah. So what's the answer?
Well, value is defined as what you do for your customer on behalf of your customer prior to asking them to be your customer.
Wow.
Can you say good. Social media?
100%.
Hi, everybody, this is Glenn Bill from the Glenn Bill Group on the Glenn Bill Facebook page. You know what? I just walked into a carpet store, and everybody that's watching this, I've just negotiated a 10% discount if you get into this store in the next 30 days and mention Glenn Bill Group and you like my page and take a picture and post it to me. That's doing something for somebody,
right,
on behalf of somebody. And you know what?
So
most
good.
People who are replacing carpet, they're getting ready to sell their own.
That's right. Brilliant. Guys, rewind this like 10 seconds and listen to that again.
Yeah, garage sales are the other ones. Hey, this is Glenn Bell. I'm at the garage sale, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, oh, thanks so much for promoting my garage sale. And then I say, hey, by the way, why are you guys doing this? They're like, oh, well, we're getting ready to sell our home. We needed to declutter. Great. You guys have a real estate agent? Yeah, we do. Great. Is that agent part-time or full-time? Well, they're a friend of ours. They don't really. Great. Well, I'm a full-time agent, and and then boom, you go get the listing.
Amazing.
That's what we do.
So inside of value mastery,
yes.
you talk about being a celebrity.
Yes, right. We talk about 10 ways to give value first, which is, one of those ways. We talk about not loyalty, which is seller mastery, but we talk about earning trust, right? Yeah. How do you build trust with a consumer? And we talk about branding, right? And we talk about the truths of branding. But yes, we talk about the celebrity piece, right? How to become a local celebrity.
So let's break that down a little bit. What for the realtor listening, that the ultimate answer we're going to give them is go buy this book, go be a part of this training program. Coming in 2022, you're going to be hitting the road, bringing this program live to cities all across the country. But what's the first part of becoming celebrity? Like, how do we just wake up and go, you know what? I'm going to start being a celebrity today.
There you go.
How do we do it?
Right. Well, you make the decision that I'm going to up my profile. So, I mean, it's almost like the 12 steps. Number one, how many people know you? Right. Yeah. Do you have any celebrity status at all? And I know you see this, Kyle.
Yeah.
Agents, how many people have a personal Facebook page, Instagram page, YouTube channel, LinkedIn, which is like the bare minimum? TikTok and Instagram are younger, but it ain't going to hurt you to have them. But look at home buyers and home sellers are on Facebook. That's the age group, 20% of Facebook's business between 25 and 41. And those are people that are buying and selling homes, and the other 16% are even older than that. So
yeah.
As embarrassing as Facebook is for your kids and your kids' kids, hey, moms and dads who love their home, love their kids sports, they are living on Facebook.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a basic personal page, right? And people said, Glenn, you shouldn't be posting stuff on your personal page. You know what I did? I'm going to. I have my personal page. I have the Glenn Bill Group, my business page.
Yep.
I have my hyperlocal page, broadripplehomes.com. I have milliondollarbuilder.com for $1 million or $1 million Facebook homes, right? We have a source of sales page, which Kyle is featured on all the time. I have about 383 agents already in the source of sales program.
Yeah.
All you got to do if you're an agent, go to Facebook, hit source of sales, and I'm sharing Bill Hart. I'm sharing Kyle. I'm sharing me. I'm sharing whoever. And we're going to
Yep.
start interviewing all the agents that are involved in this when this book comes out. So, start your group, right? Start your social media group.
Yeah.
How do I become a celebrity? Well, here's what I would do and what I've done. Start hyper local, which is what you teach. Whatever the name of the neighborhood you live in, you should try to .com that.
Yeah.
If you haven't,
smart.
you should try to get the Facebook page. Then you should go interview every business person in your hyper local market and do a Facebook Live. If you don't want to be the feature, go in and interview somebody's business, give value to them, help their business. And if there's a garage sale, if there's a kid cutting the lawn, interview them. Hey, Bob, you could use another fire. Are you kidding me? That thing will blow up like crazy. So all you're doing is giving value to that hyper local market, right?
I love it.
And then as you've seen in your own personal life, once you start doing that and you start building followers and you're holding open houses each and every Sunday and asking people to join that page. I don't know. I got like 2,700 people on my hyper local page. There's nobody in our market that has that.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's crazy. And it was easy. Like that wasn't even hard to get. And I didn't even try to get Broad Ripple Homes Facebook followers, but I was just out engaging, in the neighborhood. But there's always a neighborhood hyperlocal periodical. There's usually a neighborhood association that you can sponsor and get involved in.
Yep.
You can interview all those people. Well, guess who knows what's going on in the neighborhood more than you? The board of your hyperlocal market.
Yep.
And so support them and sell memberships for them and cover events. So I think when you say, how do you start? Here's what I hallucinate. You need to become a reporter for whatever your Facebook page is. You're a news reporter.
So
just
good.
become. The news sucks. It's negative and it's doing nothing for you.
Right.
And to be quite honest, you probably have as much talent reporting as most people who are reporting on local news and experience. So go be a news reporter for your hyper local page.
I love it.
You don't have to make it about you. You make it about them. And you know what else you can do? Call other agents and interview other agents on that page and say, hey, you know what? I love your new listing. Would you mind if I interviewed you? Because you know what? Even though you're talking to another agent, you will be considered the superior in that relationship.
Right.
Because you're the one bringing the content.
Right.
And do you know what else? When you do that for an agent and you write an offer on that agent's listing and there's 10 other offers on it, who do you think that agent's going to want to do business with most?
That's right. They're going to pick you.
Probably the agent that put them on your Facebook page.
Absolutely.
On their other listing.
Yep.
So you know what?
So good.
My short answer is become a news reporter for whatever station is your Facebook page. And
good.
That's how you begin. And then you can send those segments to the newspaper and say, hey, I am the specialist for this area. Trust me, newspaper is looking for content. And when you can package your content, you can transcribe your video, send the transcription in a article form to a newspaper. There's several of them. And then you can start sending these little videos to the producers of your local television stations. And those are called segment proposals. And so, this is, look, I've been on TV, I've been on the radio, I've been on newspapers. Why? Because I love it. It's fun. I give value. And basically, I'm a reporter, right? And so
good.
Don't worry about yourself. I know that you train a lot, but this is a different little thing that I'm talking about.
I love it.
Yeah.
And so much of this, GB, is just, I just don't think people realize this exists. Right? Like there's just so much knowledge inside of the program, because what realtor in like Dallas Fort Worth, where I am, woke up this morning going, man, I bet I could get my listing in the 4-Star Telegram. Like they probably just aren't even thinking about it.
No, not at all.
And it's a value add for the eyeballs that you're going to get. But now I also get to take that in when I'm meeting with a seller. And now I have another bullet point that said, featured in the 4-Star Telegram and the Dallas Morning News. It doesn't matter even how important that is. The fact that you can now say it is just extra validity for who you are in the market you're serving.
Which starts with the premise that I began with. Americans have no idea how attracted they are to celebrity. They don't. I'm telling you, people go crazy, man. When you're out there in the media, people go berserk. I had my own television show for 2 years. Like I was a reporter on it's called Inside the Loop and Boomer TV. Had nothing to do with real estate.
Right.
But I was interviewing the biggest leaders in Indianapolis. And people would call me to list and sell their home because they saw me on TV doing something completely different.
Right.
But they knew I was in real estate.
It's so cool. That happened to me this weekend. I had my 20-year high school reunion, and a ton of people that I haven't seen in a decade were coming up to me going, man, I love your videos. I love watching you online. I'm so proud of you. And they don't comment. They don't like it. They're just hanging out in the shadows, paying attention.
Right.
And if I were a realtor only focused on local, all those people would be buying and selling houses with me.
Yeah. And referring you money. I mean,
absolutely
right. Referring you deals. Yeah. So
dude, this is so good. I want to finish with this because you do a ton of video and as do I. And so you're really good at it. What would be your one suggestion? Like, think back, because this is when you interview people on your podcast. And so, guys, if you're not listening to the Get Attitude podcast, go subscribe. It's unbelievable. Les Brown has been on your podcast. Gary Brackett, Super Bowl champion with the Indianapolis Colts, has been on your podcast. So many unbelievable people. I've been on the podcast, and I'm like however many podcasts you've done, I'm that low on the guest list compared to
we're getting ready to drop you in a week or two. So get ready, baby.
But think back, right? Before GB was GB, right? Now, you've been doing this 33 years. You're incredibly good at what you do. You're confident. You have immense value to offer people. Think back to like when you first kind of considered getting on camera.
Right.
What was that ultimate insecurity that you had to overcome first to make that feel more doable?
Right. So, you're not going to like my answer.
Okay.
I was born to be on camera.
Come on.
I was born to be on the stage. I never had any fear whatsoever.
Yeah.
But so for me, I just never came from that place. But there are two things. I think if you're not willing to put yourself out there, then go work for someone else.
That's good.
You're in the wrong job.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch, so people come to me and all they want to do is argue with me about what they don't want to do about what I teach. I said, well, get the hell out of the business then. Or you go write your own book and get your own freaking program. You know what? You ain't cut out for it. And that's okay. You don't have to be a real estate agent. So, can you succeed in real estate without doing social media? Absolutely, you can.
Yeah, sure.
But you know what? It's going to take you longer and you're not going to make as much. I'll give you one quick instant. I make $100,000 a year selling real estate on Facebook, and I can prove it.
Yeah.
And I listed a home for $850. Right. Didn't even go inside. Hey, it's Glenn. I just got this new listing. It's killer. I'm talking into my phone. We just put on for $850. It has an extra lot. Here's the address. And, I stay on for 3 to 5 minutes because that lets your people populate.
Yep.
And I talked about the neighborhood and the house and how great this would be. And I hung that sucker up. And 2 minutes later, a neighbor called and goes, oh my God, Glenn, you haven't met me, but I love watching you on Facebook.
Yeah.
My husband and I said, if that home ever comes for sale, we're going to buy it. Now we know there's going to be a lot of people on it. We have another agent. I said, well, I don't want to take business from it. She said, no, we know you from somebody else. And we want to use the listing agent. And can you just stay there so we can go in the home right now? So we go through the home. I write a full price offer, $850,000. We get the deal done. And that 2-minute video got me a customer I never knew, who knew me, and made me $24,000 and made me look like a superstar. Now I know this. They maybe would have come 2 days later or 3 days later when they saw the sign. But you know what? And there's a lot of people that didn't see that video.
Right.
But there was one that did. And it made me 24 grand. And I mean, I got that story.
So
when I'm at open, if you are not going live from your open house, you're absolutely missing the boat, because that is, hey, come
guys.
see me, right?
Yep.
Like, people come to see me at my open houses just to catch up.
I need to fly up to Indianapolis and come to one of the open houses so we can hang out.
Yeah, it'll be all good, brother. I want to come down and watch the Cowboys with you. That's really what I want.
Dude, come on. This is the year.
I know.
This is the year. Glenn, I can't thank you enough for coming on here, because I know, right? I work alongside you with your content, and so I know how busy you are and just how on the go you are every second of every day. And so for you to have given me this amount of time to be on the podcast is I'm just so grateful for you. How do people connect? What are all the ways that they can connect with you?
Well, if you want to see what's going on with Source of Sales, go to gbunlimited.com. That's gbunlimited.com and hit Source of Sales. If you're a lender, you can hit Purchase Mentality, and it'll give you a little taste. Check out my YouTube page, Glenn Bill Training. Just Google Glenn Bill. You'll see all that. And if you're a real estate agent that wants me to come into your marketplace, let me know.
Yep.
But I guarantee our results. And I know that those people who attend our trainings will be in the top of their marketplaces. I got the agents, I got the names, we got the proof. It's all worked. But just check me out. And Kyle, thank you for all you've done for our business.
Yes, sir.
We're just so thankful for you.
Yes, sir. Thankful for you. When will the book be available on Amazon?
So it'll be January. You said I was a New York Times bestseller. I'm actually an Amazon bestseller with the ABCs of Attitude.
Well, I was just speaking this second book into existence.
I love it, baby.
On the New York Times bestseller list.
The ABCs, yeah, that's on Amazon, and that's a whole, different thing that we do. But yeah, just look up Glenn Bill. But guys, Kyle is on and in our Source of Sales group often. He'll post something that's just ridiculously good, and I share it. When this podcast hit, make sure that you post it to
yes, sir. I
Source
will.
of Sales.
I will. All right, guys. If you don't go listen to this one a second time, you hate making money.
Right.
So, guys, appreciate y'all. Thanks for listening. We'll be back real soon with another cool person with an even cooler story. See ya.